of us living in the concrete jungle, there's still a way to get back to the land.
City farmer wants to make urban people aware of all the areas that can grow.
Downtown Vancouver is a lot like the inner city of any big town. Miles of stacked concrete and glass. It's a place as far removed from agriculture as you can get, until you come across this small, isolated plot of land where a special group of city dwellers are getting their hands dirty the old-fashioned way. Planting potatoes was something Leo Wolf could only think about a couple of years ago. He lives in a small apartment, and like many of his neighbors, has no land of his own for growing food. Things began to change in 1984. That's when the people in this neighborhood got together and set up the Strathcona Community Garden. It's in the east end of Vancouver and used to be a city landfill site. Today, the city and the Parks Department still own the land, but they've agreed to lease it out for gardening. There's enough room here for 200 plots, and each gardener pays $5 a year for their little piece of land. After that, all they need are some tools, a handful of seeds, and commitment. Turning a landfill site into a garden takes work. Sod has to be broken and water lines put in. It's something Diane Winkler knows about. She's been on the organizing committee from the start and has seen how all kinds of people in the neighborhood have helped out.
A lot of people who had nothing to do during the daytime because they're unemployed or whatever, they can come here and they can pitch in. Some don't want gardens to actual garden. They just want to do the digging. We have people that come on site just to dig, which is fine by me. It's not one of my favorite things to do on a garden. But it's a great boost to the neighborhood, and it makes everybody feel good because it's a place that's away from the hustle bustle of the city. I mean, I always laugh when I can look over and see all the traffic coming on rush hour, and I don't feel that here. I can watch everybody else going crazy, but I don't have to be involved in it here.
Is that part important?
Oh, I think it's very important.
Why?
Because it's so, to get back to nature, it's so relaxing and it's refreshing, and I like the sound of the birds, and you know, I work full time. So this is my downtime. This is where I don't have to worry about the basic problems of every day. I just have to worry about getting the rocks out of my garden.
Michael Levenston also believes in the importance of urban gardens. He's head of an organization called City Farmer, and for 10 years has helped community groups like Strathcona get off the ground.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, Michael. How you doing? Hi, Michael.
How's it going?
Great. It's pretty hot.
It's pretty hot today for me.
Yeah.
He works behind the scenes, convincing politicians to free up land, finding money for startup costs, and organizing groups so they can carry on by themselves.
I think we're just going to...
The idea was to tell urban people in Canada or wherever that there was tremendous potential for growing food in urban areas. And there are many, many, many positive things that can come out of this. You work in a garden, whether it be food or flowers, you learn about your immediate environment. You become aware of air pollution maybe affecting your crops, of acid rain affecting your crops. Every environmental issue can be dealt with. Also, in terms of a country where we have very, very high unemployment with no relief seeming to be ahead for the near future, the people that are unemployed need something to strengthen their spirit. Growing your own food does that.
Growing your own food also helps to make ends meet. Mug Sigger Gerson works with needy people in the Strathcona area. She likes to get them into the garden as often as she can.
In this neighborhood, supplying your own food cannot be underrated. There are all kinds of people that I work with that are on social assistance, and at the end of the month, they're not eating anything. And they are looking forward to food. And that is the people I work with, and we come out here, they're waiting to peck. They're waiting to eat. It is good. It's really important. I just can't stress how important that is for people.
I know that the people in this area, many of them need this food, and again, it's very inspiring for me to see them gardening and to help in any way.
For Michael Levenston, getting inner-city people to set up gardens includes helping them to learn how to garden. In the Vancouver suburb of Kitsilano, City Farmer has a demonstration garden that's open to the public.
We wanted a garden where people could come and see what we've been talking about. So we took a typical backyard and tried to put as many beds, as many food growing areas we could into this area so that people can come here and through the year see the food growing, taste it, take part in growing food.
Across town in Vancouver's West End, City Farmer takes its message to a different group of people. Here at the Lord Roberts Public School, many of the children come from homes in high-rise apartments.
Go ahead.
They get very little chance to garden. But last year, after parents and teachers got together, plans for a school garden were drawn up. City Farmer was asked to help, and now the children can learn more about the food they eat in their own community garden. They're shown how to plant, tend, and harvest their own crops, and do all the work themselves.
So you guys can put some soil in all these little pots. And then when there's soil in them, then we can put our tomatoes in there. So there's some nice soil right in here.
Antoinette Vandenbrink is hired by City Farmer to teach the kids.
Christopher.
Christopher here.
It's very important for children, I think, to, especially city kids, to get their hands on the soil and get a feeling for that. And also, it teaches them a respect for nature that they wouldn't otherwise have, I don't think. They realize that plants are living things and they have to be treated with delicacy.
I think that every student should go through school learning where your food comes from. So, of course, I'd love to have every schoolyard having a food garden program. But on a larger level, City Farmer wants to make urban people aware of all the areas that can grow food. And after 10 years, it's showing that there is a need and interest, and there are more projects in the works. Because the gardens are very, very important for Canadian cities, for the people in the Canadian cities.